Good morning, happy Monday, and welcome to day 10 of our Learning from Home experience. I've got some backup today from my good friend Goku, who I believe is in Super Saiyan mode. And we're going to work together to help you today with some math concepts that will go along with your learning packet. Okay? So, our focus for today is going to be again on math, and it's going to be using place value to help us determine rather a value that is 10 more and 1 more. Let's take a look at what we mean. As we look at this number, it's represented in what we would call build form, where we're using these base 10 blocks to represent the values. Here I see that there are two of these large cubes. I know that these represent hundreds. So I have two hundreds. These long, thin blocks I know are going to be my tens. I have three of them. And then last but not least, I have my ones. I recognize that I have 5 ones. So two hundreds, 3 tens, which is a value of 30, and 5 ones. The number that is shown here is going to be a value of 235. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine what would happen if I had 10 more. So in this case, I'm looking at this value that I have and I'm thinking to myself, what would happen if I have 10 more? Now what's interesting is when I see this word more, I know that that means I'm going to be adding. So this is kind of like our addition skills that we've worked on. So I know that I need to think to myself, what would happen if I added another 10? Well, I'll go ahead and just draw one here so I could see what my number might look like. When I've added that another 10, my hundreds have not changed. I still have two hundreds. My tens value has changed. Instead of 30, I would have 40. 3 tens have now become 4 tens. My ones stay the same. So in this case, when I look at my numbers and I look at my values, if I had 10 more, my number would become 245. Okay? And our last option here is to think about what would happen if our number had 1 more. So this time I do not want to think about 10 more. I'll get rid of this 10 here later. Instead of thinking about 10 more, I'm going to think about what would happen if I added 1 more. So now when I think about what value is changing, my value that's changing is going to be my 1. So I'm going to just imagine, or I can even draw it if I like, 1 more 1. So now I have still two hundreds. I have those 3 tens that I started with, right? And now instead of 5 ones, I have 6 ones. So my value here, 200, 30, and in this case, 6. 1 more is 236. So again, our starting number was 235. 10 more is 245. 1 more is 236. So very quickly, we're seeing how we can change our values by just thinking about the place value. Okay? I'm going to do one more here, if I may. And in this case, let's take a look at a number like so. Okay? Now, when we think about why this skill is important, this is going to be a really great skill to use when we're adding large numbers. By being able to see how place value can help us put numbers and add numbers quickly, we're going to be very efficient when it comes to adding 3-digit and 2-digit type numbers. All right, so let's take a look and let's determine first what's our starting value here, correct? I have 3 of those hundreds, 110, and in this case I have 9 ones. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So 300, 10, and 9. Our starting number is going to be 319. Okay. Now let's again think about what would happen if we changed these values. First, we're going to think about what would happen if we had 10 more. If I had 10 more, well, is that going to change my hundreds? Nah. Is that going to change my ones? In this case, we want to change our tens value. What would happen if we had 10 more? Well, instead of having just one 10, we would have two tens. Our hundreds would be the same. We'd still have 300s. Now, instead of one 10, we'll have two tens. And our ones can stay the same. We'll still have 9 ones. 10 more is going to be 329. Okay? Now let's see what happens when we have one more. Let me get rid of this. I'm not changing my tens value anymore. I'm changing my ones. So here, if I change my ones, meaning I have one more, I have 300 still. I have 110. And now I look here, I have, well, what do I have? I had 9 ones. I added one more. 9 plus 1. Hey, this makes another 10. So now I have 300s. Here's 110. And when I look at all this together, I realize, hey, I made another 10. So it's like I have two 10s now. 300s, 2 10s, and 0 ones left over. My value becomes 320. Okay? Today you're going to be looking at concepts very similar to these in your learning packet. I'll very quickly get to my math section since I have my sticky note here. Thank you, Sticky Note Strategy. And I'll look at what's going to be our day 10 assignment. When I look at day 10, I see that we're working on 10 more, one more, and that's going to be on pages 25 through 27. So again, I need to look at pages 25 through 27 in my learning packet. So here is page number 25, which again has us looking at models just like I did, filling in the number that we see, and then thinking about 10 more and one more. This first question they have done for you as an example, and then they give you the following questions for you to practice. We have page 25. On the back, we have page 26. And then one last page of practice, page 27. Okay? The only difference on page 27 is that they give you the number in number form instead of giving you the number in build form. But the same skills will apply. If you have any questions about the learning assignment today or about our learning video, hit me up on Google Classroom, shoot me a message on Dojo. Otherwise, have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.